Good morning all, hope you're well wherever you are. Welcome along to my power walk here in very foggy Bavaria this morning. It's around about 7 o'clock and I thought I'd drop a little video for you to try and bring a little bit of positivity in amongst all the madness that's going on around the world at the moment. We're at about a week into the second lockdown here in Germany. It's the same in the UK and around the world. We're in the time of the year when respiratory illnesses and so forth are always up every year, and that has affected the numbers, and it means that we've had to go into a second lockdown light as they call it here in Germany, which is a very convenient way of making things sound a lot better than they actually are. It's certainly not light for people that have been deeply affected by this pandemic, especially from the point of view of people's economic situations and situations with businesses and so forth. I can speak for that myself because my business is in tourism and I own a tour operations company, and income is down 90% this year, so I can vouch firsthand for how difficult things are at the moment. Many people of course aren't affected economically. And let's be honest about it, if you're not affected economically, then it's a lot easier to deal with the regulations that are in place, because you can look at it more philosophically, I guess, if you're not impacted by it yourself. But for many people, it's causing a lot of distress, especially in hospitality, in tourism, etc. And many other professions as well that are having a knock-on effect from what's going on. So what I want to do, and what I do for myself, is try and introduce a little bit of positivity, things that we can do during these times that means that when we come out of the situation, which we will do at some point, what kind of state the world's going to be in and what kind of state the economy is going to be in is up for conjecture. It's not going to be good, that's obvious, but it's very important that when we do come out of the current climate, that you're in the best shape physically and psychologically to be able to pick up the baton and carry on with life and have a productive life and a rewarding life. And that means taking an inventory of what's going on during this downtime, if you like, to be able to sort out a few issues that you might have yourself, so that you come out of this in a better place than you were when we went into it. What I'm going to talk about today is the idea of setting goals as a way to offset the negativity that's going on around us. It's something that I've been doing for a good few years now, before the pandemic, which has had a very positive, beneficial effect on my life. Setting goals on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and on a yearly basis in order to create momentum with your life going forward. And that's momentum whether it's to do with your business, with your physical fitness, etc. Many positive effects. I find the best time to formulate goals for me personally is during the time that I'm chatting to you right now. So when I'm on a power walk, it's a fantastic opportunity to listen to podcasts, listen to audio books, which is what I do. And then once you've listened to something for maybe 45 minutes of your power walk, switch the thing off and start to just ruminate on what you're going to be doing in the future and how you're going to move forward. Starting to develop goals. What I do when I get in from my power walk is I write down any ideas that I've had on that power walk, because it's very easy for positive ideas that you might have to dissipate very quickly and you forget them. So if you get an idea on your power walk, as soon as you get in, have a little journal, just write it down immediately, so that over time you end up with a list of things, of positive things that you think that you might be able to do with yourself. What I then do is I review the ideas that I've had over the course of a week or whatever, and I'll go to a whiteboard which I keep in my office, in my home office at home, and write a list of goals that I have, and then break them down to daily goals and weekly goals. It's a habit forming thing that you have to develop. You know, it's no good doing this just for a couple of days and then giving up on it. You've got to develop a habit of setting goals. There's been many research papers done that have suggested that it takes 30 days to develop a habit through consistency. So that's whether it's developing a positive habit or getting rid of an old habit, it takes approximately 30 days. So if you do start the goal setting regime, which I highly suggest, then stick at it for at least 30 days, because that way you will at least develop the habit of doing it, and you're far more likely to get results from it. It's really very important to make sure that when you set a goal that you really do see it through, because if you set goals and don't see them through, it's going to have a negative effect on your psychology, because there's nothing worse than setting a bar and not being able to jump the bar. It leads to a negative spiral. So very, very important from that perspective to keep the goals very, very simple to start with, and to keep them minimal in numbers, so that you know that it's manageable and you can actually achieve the goals. And then gradually build up maybe the number of goals that you have in a week or whatever. As you start to glean confidence and your self-esteem starts to improve, increase the number of goals. Keep it very, very simple to start with. So for example, just to give you a very simple example, you could set yourself a goal on a Sunday evening that the following week you're going to walk half an hour every day for the following week. Just a very simple example. What you've got to then do is make sure that you do that, so you can tick it off at the end of the week to say that you've done it. And then you can increase from the confidence that gives you and the self-esteem improvement that gives you. You can improve from there. Yearly goals as well is something that many people do at the end of the year, coming around New Year's time. I like to get my phone out when I'm going into work or whatever and write a list of the achievements that I've managed to accomplish during the given year. And what that does is writing down what you've achieved in a given year gives you confidence. Think, oh, I've got all those things done, fantastic. And that gives you the confidence to go ahead and then write a list for goals for the following year, knowing that having achieved those goals already, that you can set some really decent goals because you've got the confidence from what you've achieved on the previous year that you set out. So goal setting, extremely important. I'm going to go into this in more detail. This is just a quick video this morning that I drop on you, but I'm going to go all these topics that I'm talking about in the coming months and years. I'm going to go into more depth about how to achieve various facets in your life to improve the quality of your life. But goal setting, very, very important. It's very easy in these times under lockdown and under the pressure economically and with jobs and so forth to become extremely negative and full of anxiety. It's extremely important to keep a positive routine going for ourselves individually, to try and keep some sort of order, something that we can rely on in our lives to keep us on track, so that we're in much better shape when we come out of all of this. So remember the old saying, guys, keep moving forwards, onwards and upwards, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.